Today I'm with Thomas Currey. Thomas is an attorney from Berthoud, Colorado. He specializes in estate planning. Today we're going to be talking about the dreaded taxes. Yep, taxes. They're coming up really soon, April 15th. It'll be here before you know it. So, Thomas, can you tell me how can you, as an estate planner, help a homeowner save on taxes?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question, Margaret. So last time in the previous video, we talked about the different squares on a chessboard being like the different areas of law that affect our daily lives. One is real estate law. One of the adjoining squares to that, I would submit, is estate planning. We can have all kinds of unintended consequences if we're not thinking about the adjacent squares on the chessboard when we engage in any kind of real estate transaction. Taxes through your estate plan is one of the main ones that is out there. The reason being, what do people think about probate, right? Everyone wants to avoid probate. Let's not go through the probate process, right?
No.
So people thinking logically, and this is not an illogical thing to do, they might think, okay, well, I'm the sole owner of the home, I'm aging, I'm older, I'll just put...
I am.
Yeah, this is a hypothetical person. I'll just put my adult son or daughter on the title to the house, and when I die, the house will just go to my adult child without having to go through the probate process, right? Reasonable, right?
Right.
We're not thinking about the adjoining square of estate planning and tax consequences in that example, and here's why. The reason is when you pass along your house through a devise or a bequest, such as a devise in your will, your adult son or daughter gets a stepped up basis in the home. Now, what does that mean? It means that, for example, if you bought the home for $100,000 30 years ago, and now which is entirely possible, Margaret knows this better than I do, today it's worth $500,000. Is that a realistic scenario?
That's a very realistic scenario.
If that home is passed through the will, then the adult son or daughter gets a $500,000 basis in the house. When he or she turns around to sell the house, no capital gains tax, because the basis is equal to the amount realized from the sale of the home. Contrast that with if you put your adult son or daughter on the title to the home during your lifetime, you don't get that basis step up. So what you're basically doing is giving half of the value of the home, $250,000, to your son or daughter as a gift, and then they don't get the full basis step up. So when he or she turns around to sell the home for $500,000, then they're paying capital gains tax on a pretty significant amount of gain, which could be several $1,000s in taxes, if that's helpful.
That's very helpful, and especially in our market where the average home in Loveland is $484,000. So, that's just a base home. That's nothing fancy. So if you have a parent that had a nice home, you might be paying a lot of money in taxes.
Right.
So
yeah, that's just an example of the law of unintended consequences. When you're thinking about logical things you like to do with your home, be sure to speak to an attorney, an accountant, other professionals to make sure that what you're doing won't come to bite you in the rear end later on. And that's just one example. Others could be when you put your son or daughter on the title to the home. Then if you want to sell that home during your life, if you want to refinance it, who's got to be involved? The other owner, right? You may or may not want that. There are other ways, other tools that can accomplish the goal of avoiding probate if that's important to people that don't have these negative consequences.
Well, thank you for the information, Thomas.
You're very welcome.
Stay tuned for part 3 coming up, in a couple weeks. I'm Margaret Herdt, the owner of Turnkey Realty. If you would like to get in touch with Thomas, his information is below, as well as mine. You can give us a call. I'm sure he would be happy to help you out if you're thinking about doing some estate planning. So until next time, we'll see you next Tuesday.